Joining me in the studio for your Monmouth-McDonald's Coaches Corner, I have Monmouth-Roseville High School Athletic Director Jeremy Adolphson. Good morning, Jeremy.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you today?
Good, good.
It's another Monday.
Yes, we're back, well, almost back to school. Teachers back today, kids back tomorrow, but yeah, back in the swing of things.
Yeah,
it's
crazy to think that the winter break is already over.
Yeah, it was good. It was actually felt fairly long, which was great, but yeah, excited to get back and get moving here. We got a pretty big stretch of about 5 straight months of a lot of activities, so looking forward to it.
Going to be a busy time at Monmouth-Roseville High School. Where would you like to start?
So I'll get going with our schedule this week and a little recap over the break. I'll start with girls basketball. Girls this week, they are going to be at Sherrard tonight for JV and varsity, and then Wednesday night we will host Rock Ridge. I do want to point out that will be varsity first. Rock Ridge is pretty low on numbers, so varsity first. Followed by probably a running clock, JV half or halves. Potentially going to need to check in and see where they are right now, but that's what the plan was before break anyway. And then Saturday, they will head to Alwood High School and play Ridgewood, and that will also be varsity first, followed by JV. Over the break, they did have some games at the Girls Working Classic up in Prophetstown High School up there, so got several games in and are looking forward to getting moving here. They've got about a little over a month to go regular season, and then it'll be time for the regional, believe it or not. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's good for them to get out on the floor and get some in that week of no school.
Right, yeah, they were able to get some practice time in, and actually we had a little JV girls basketball triangular on Saturday where United and A-Town came over and played a couple quick games with everybody got 2 games in, which was great. As I mentioned there, a lot of schools are kind of struggling with numbers. We're in pretty good shape with, I think, over 20 girls right now, but several places either can't play JV at all or are playing very modified. So Coach Looper was talking with Coach Olson, Coach Dugan in the area and just said, hey, can we figure out a way to play? I know I talked to Coach Olson from United. I think they'd only played 1 legitimate JV girls basketball game before Christmas, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
so
that is crazy.
Glad to get them some time as well, and we'll kind of see how things roll the rest of the way. For them, but it actually worked out really well. It was quick. It was 3 hours, and everybody got 2 games in, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's great.
And then our wrestlers, who were off for the entire break, they did not have any wrestling meets for the break. They have a very busy week coming up. They will be at United this Wednesday for a pretty cool event there to celebrate the life of Mason Giddings, a former wrestler there at United and who passed away there in November. But they're going to have between Monmouth-Roseville and United, they're going to have some youth wrestling matches, some junior high wrestling matches, and then some high school wrestling matches there, and it will be a great event, a little fundraiser there for his family. So that was something that was kind of added into the schedule there kind of right before Christmas, and so they'll be there on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we have a meet scheduled at Rova High School with Rova Williamsfield Co-op and East Peoria. And then, let's see here, Saturday, then we will go to the Pekin JV Invite, which most of our kids will compete in there. It's a JV Invite, but it's a lot larger schools, so kids will be very comparable to the kids that we have there. So, and wrestlers for sure, they actually have their regional on January 31st, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
So, like, they
right around the corner.
It is coming up very, very quickly here. So, yeah, it's going to move very quickly for them. And then boys basketball, who got to play quite a bit over break as well. They had the Western Holiday Tournament down at Western Illinois. Lost their opening game against Illini West and then stormed back and won the next 3 to win the Consolation Championship, including overcoming a 20-0 and 26-4 deficit in the first quarter against Liberty in the Consolation Championship game. Came all the way back to win. I think we ended up winning by 6, I think, in the end, but quite an effort from them. That was a 2-game day for them to pull that off. So very cool. I think we won the Consolation title maybe 3 years ago or so as well. So, yeah, very excited for them. And then they were able to turn around on Saturday at the Carl Sandburg shootout and got a win over Beardstown. So 4 consecutive wins there for the boys. And as they kind of got a late start with the season this year, they're definitely rounding into form, and they're going to have a big week coming up as well. They will host Farmington this Thursday at 5:30, and then on Friday we'll turn around and go to Sherrard. Sherrard's one of the better teams on our side for sure there as well. So they're going to have quite a run here coming up, and again, riding a little bit of momentum, especially those last 4 games. And
Right.
Lars Berggren, who had gotten injured towards the end of the football season, made his return during the Constellation Championship. So kind of adding to that team. And I know for a lot of basketball people, kind of before Christmas is figuring it out, and then after Christmas is kind of what you think you're going to be. And so they're definitely off to a great start here after Christmas.
Right, for sure. And it'll be nice coming off those 4 wins to go back at home and host a game there at the Shoebox on Thursday.
Yeah, we've only had one home boys game so far, and then we have, I think, like 9 here after January. So they're going to get a lot of home cooking coming up. As I told Coach Grant, you kind of have the Coach Weber schedule. I think the last 2 or 3 years, the girls, just the way things worked out, played like a game or 2 before Christmas at home, and then almost all of them were home after that. Just kind of the way, with our single gym, the way things work out between wrestling meets and Christmas concerts and things that are hosted at the high school. So, it's going to be a very busy January and February for us for home basketball games, really at all levels, boys and girls. So looking forward to those.
Sure. Yeah.
And then lastly here, we do have bowling going on as well. Bowling this Wednesday with the co-op with West Central will be over at Fun City, bowling against West Burlington. And then Saturday, they are bowling against Galesburg, and Galesburg hosts their meets at Abbey Lanes there in Abingdon, so they'll be there on that day. We do have, I think we have 3 boys, or 2 boys, and like 5 girls from MR that are competing as part of that co-op. So getting a lot of action in for them. The boys got started earlier, so they'll have their regional coming up towards the end of the month, and the girls, I think, are a couple weeks after that. So they're kind of getting into the stretch run of their time as well. And then also Scholastic Bowl kicks off this week. They will be at Prophetstown on Thursday. They'll have meets, I think, the next several Thursdays. There's a Monday thrown in there. We host one coming up here in just a couple weeks. So that gets going for their first competitions as well. So pretty much everything that could be going in the winter is going and going strong this week.
Yeah, Sean left me a note. Is there any competitive cheerleading meets coming up?
No, we do not have a competitive cheer team this year. Just didn't have the numbers to sustain that for this season, and so our cheer girls are all doing all the basketball things, and actually they went to the Western Holiday Tournament, which they hadn't done in a while with them not having the competitive cheer season. So they went and cheered all those games, and will be at essentially all of our home and away games here coming up the next 2 months.
Yeah, they'll be busy.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a pretty crazy schedule, and as Vanessa just mentioned before I came off the air here, just talked about the weather being great or looking great for the next couple of weeks. It's awesome. If we could somehow extend that for about 6 weeks and make it through things as scheduled, that would be great. But yeah, usually this time of year you come back and you talk about what you think is going to happen, but it's probably not happening. Well, right now we're looking like we're in pretty good shape for now. So it's it'll move fast. There's a lot of events, a lot of things going. Kids back in school, so really looking forward to getting going here.
Yes, with January and February, you just never know weather-wise. So hopefully we can get things to hold together. Yeah,
we've got we'll have senior nights coming up. We got wrestling coming up here in a few weeks, and girls and boys basketball a little bit later. I kind of learned from another school my first year as the AD back here that don't schedule your senior night boys or girls basketball game in the last home game because if something happens weather-wise, you may not have it. So we usually schedule those about 2 or 3 games before the end of the season, just in case something goes bad. We got a little bit of a backup plan and have some room. So. But like I said, hopefully we don't need that. I'm sure it's inevitable. Something's gonna happen, whether it's snow or ice or mix or whatever. But it's kind of nice to look at the schedule and think you don't have to worry about that this week.
Yeah, for sure. Well, is there anything else you want to share with us athletic-wise at Monmouth-Roseville High School?
IHSA passed some new bylaws, or schools voted on some new bylaws right before the break, actually. And a couple big changes, I guess. The dead week, which would be the no contact week for all high school sports, which had been the first week of August for as long as I can remember, has been eliminated and been officially moved to the July 4th week.
Okay.
The majority of our teams already kind of gave that week anyway, and kind of had 2 of them, with one to start July and one to start August. But that was a fairly significant change, and then it was also voted in to expand the football playoffs, which is going to move the football season up a week. As of right now, they're not mandating any football practices what was the dead week, but I could see that potentially coming down the road just because the number of practices you're going to have to get in is going to be significantly reduced when you move up a week without starting practice any sooner. So
Right.
kind of stay tuned on that. They've said as of right now they have no plans to make that change, but I know football coaches around, and myself specifically, scrambling kind of how we're going to do things to make sure kids get some time off before the season starts, but still kind of try to make sure that you're ready. So those were a couple pretty big changes. Another one that actually impacts us coming up very quickly. Softball, the start of that season for practice and games was moved up 1 week. It kind of corresponds with the length of the season. Baseball, actually, the postseason was moved back. So by moving the softball season up, it probably doesn't help us a lot for outdoors in early March, but but it does give them the same length of time to play. And we've already kind of discussed maybe if there's things we can do. I know the Louisville Slugger Complex in Peoria could potentially host some games there early on when the weather's not great here. We've been up to the Betplex before and played some softball up that way. So that's something that will impact our kids coming up here sooner than later. I think they actually start softball now like February 23rd. It's kind of very, very early to get that going, but it at least makes a season the same length as the boys. And you never know. There's years where the best weather you ever have for the first month and a half might be the first week of March. So maybe we luck out and fields are dry and playable, and we can get more things in than we think.
Yeah, for sure. I remember playing softball in those early games. It's either cold, there was snow, and you just never knew what was going to come.
Well, and then if you do get to play, like, did they even get to practice outside once before it happened?
Right,
you know, sometimes you're just playing because now the field is ready, but you've just been inside and trying to get ready. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I know sometimes the people want to push that season back quite a bit, and I understand that, but there's also years where it just rains for 2 weeks in April where you're actually better off maybe in March because you get those warm weathers. You get 60 degrees, and of course 50 or 60 feels like 90 in March when you get it, you're coming off the winter. So hopefully things work out well for them. But those are kind of the big things that came about there right before Christmas.
Yeah, well, thanks for the updates, and I'm sure you'll keep us informed here as they play out, getting closer to football especially.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Yes, well, thanks for joining us here this morning. That is Monmouth-Roseville High School Athletic Director Jeremy Adolphson on your Monmouth-McDonald's Coaches Corner.